On-Ayer is back, everyone, and I am Ryan Ayers. It is fitting on this late Saturday night that I'm wearing this t-shirt as Conor McGregor beats Nate Diaz in a decision. It goes the distance 5 rounds. But the news I want to talk about tonight is what happened about 24 hours ago. It's a school that is got some players that have been arrested that are taking the Fighting Irish name at Notre Dame to literal offense. And that happened within hours of each other. 5 football players get arrested and booked after they were pulled over because of a taillight broken. And then the cops do a little bit of a search on these 5 football players from Notre Dame and find a loaded gun and some marijuana on them. So the next incident is Devin Butler. He's the guy that truly took the sense Fighting Irish to a new level. He got in trouble at a bar outside of the Notre Dame campus and got in a fight and resisted arrest with a police officer from the local South Bend PD. So this brings up a question that I've had for a while now. What's going on with the football program at Notre Dame? I don't think it's really anything other than one person. You have to start looking at the CEO of your football program when countless things are happening, negative things are happening at Notre Dame almost yearly. If it's not an issue with a portable, high lift, Michael Floyd getting a DUI, Brian Kelly looking for another job while he's at a national championship game, and then other players getting arrested, Carlo Calabrese, Tommy Reese, after underage drinking and fleeing from police. Then it comes the next year in 2014, you've got the academic scandal involving a handful of players. Last year, it was more or less the injury bug. I know you can't blame anybody for that. And now it's happening again. I see a write-up earlier today that, Notre Dame players haven't been arrested in 3 years. I remember a time as a guy in the Midwest growing up watching Notre Dame football that Notre Dame players never got in trouble. There was just always a high standard at Notre Dame. They represented themselves in a first-class manner, the players and the coaches. And whenever anything minor or one thing would pop up, they kicked those guys to the curb. There was a no-tolerance, very strict policy that I surely enjoyed seeing in now a society that's just allowing 3 and 4 chances and these programs to basically run amok and have no consequences. But now it comes to 2016. You think the season's just a couple weeks away, everything's on track. 6 guys in 2 separate incidents at a major Division I college football school that represents college football normally in a first-class manner, until one thing. Brian Kelly shows up. He is the CEO of Notre Dame Football. I've harped on him in the past about other things. He's great at 3 things. Developing football players for sure, but he's also a genius at losing football games. He should have blowout victories. And he's also tremendous at year in and year out having academic scandals, players arrested, and other issues that make negative headlines in the national news media. And so at some point, when is enough for a school like Notre Dame? I know these guys are 18 to 22-year-olds, and you can't keep an eye on them 24/7. Brian Kelly and the coaching staff, they have lives too. They go off, go to their families. They have free time as well. You can't babysit and hold these guys' hands countless times throughout the summer, the off-season, and in the season. There shouldn't be as much trouble during the season. You've got so much schoolwork and football practice to go to. But at some point, when does Jack Swarbrick, when does the head president of the school come to Brian Kelly and say, what kind of culture are you breeding here? It just seems like every year there's an issue with that football program. I don't see it coming from Mike Bray. Never do you see these issues from him over the last decade. He runs a tight ship there and is a first-class coach. Brian Kelly, it's time for you, as I said, to look in the mirror. These are your recruits now. And you have every opportunity over the 4-year span to get to know these guys and teach them right from wrong. When your lead guy in that pack of 5 guys in the car is Max Redfield, a 4th-year starting safety, he's got everything on the line. He's got a lot to prove this season. He's got one last shot at making the NFL. And when he's out in a car full of underclassmen, you know you've got an issue with your football program. Maybe that's just on him. But why is it that this continually happens under Brian Kelly's tenure? At some point, like I said before, the culture is the problem, and he is the CEO of this culture. If I was Notre Dame, I would look far away from his style and him as head coach in the future of the University of Notre Dame football program. A first-class university like Notre Dame can't continue to have the negative happenings going on like they have going on right now. Look at Brian Kelly on the football field on top of all of the negative off-the-field stuff I've just talked about. Look it up. I'm telling you right now, he's won nothing significantly at Notre Dame. A lot of makeup on that pig. He's won some games against Syracuse and Wake Forest and Purdue. You know, give him a little bit of credit for dominating Mark D'Antonio in that series. Outside of that, I don't see a whole hell of a lot that he's doing for that Notre Dame football program. You look at Charlie Weiss. He couldn't develop the football players. But you know what he did? He kept those guys clean, and you never heard issues on the off-the-field side. You know, they want to compare out there. Brian Kelly, supposedly he's doing a tremendous job. But it's not too tough to compare his work against guys that couldn't get it done on the football field. So you have that 8-4 season every year on average. That looks great compared to the Ty Willingham, Bob Davie, and Charlie Weiss 5-7 football seasons. But he's not doing anything significant. And on top of it, he's not getting the job done. And they're having troubles with the law, kids cheating academically. He's not at par all the time off the field as well. We can, all go back to 2010 before the Tulsa game, the chairlift, and that incident. But at least, as I end here, Alabama and Florida State, when they go on their crime sprees, at least they're winning football games. Brian Kelly can't even beat Northwestern, and his team continually has these off-the-field issues. And with that, I want to let you know, you've just been on air, and I am Ryan Ayers.